were you able to recognize even a little bit whether this particular thing that just happened in the break was projected by you the witness? If some are in Gurukul and have done this projection and withdrawal from projection already, those in Gurukul, were you able to withdraw from projection, which you could see as a subtle flash already at the mental level before it became a physical manifestation? These are questions to ask yourself. If not there yet, this should be our aim. That is where I must go. Why? Understanding and learning about myself is number one priority. There should not be anything else in this waking dream and deep sleep world that must have a higher priority than me knowing and understanding my own self. The sequence of the shlokas in Kathopanishad are a brilliant map which can take you there if you have a disciplined and a discerning mind. Very important. Obviously, it cannot work without discipline. It cannot work without the power of discernment. Power of discernment is viveka. Yeah? So the discerning mind, the disciplined mind is a prerequisite. And if that is there, so easily I can recognize, oh yes, I have the power of manifestation. Oh yes, I have the power of withdrawing before it manifests. Important pointer, once I have manifested it, now the wave has begun. Now I will have to go through it till the wave recedes back into nothingness. It's like you turned on a boring movie. Everybody else in the family is now enjoying it. So now even if you want to end it, they will not let you end it. Yeah, like that. Once I've recognized something has started, by something has started, I mean from its beginning point, the wave has arisen. I see the perception of sight or sound or smell, taste, touch, thought, feeling, sensation. The manifestation at the physical level has started. Oh, I see this. Now I will have to go through the rest of the wave. Even though right here I realized, what did I manifest? I want to withdraw this. But I know I cannot withdraw. Yeah. Even if I become aware here, I will have to go through the rest of the wave. Is that very clear? This also is a saying. The more astute your attention towards that which is knowing, you start recognizing all these things. All these are the wisdom pointers of Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. When I start recognizing all this, it becomes clear what Yama is telling Nachiketa in the next verse, that all that is taught by the Vedas culminates in Brahman only. And if you are that astute one, the one with discernment, the one with discipline, you will be able to know this. Yeah, and you will not be able to perceive anything apart from Brahman. You will come to a point where you recognize all is Brahman. There is no reality other than Brahman to be known or to be attained. Those who fully understand this, then they stop looking at other paths, at other principles, other goals. They drop Dvaitam. And there is this one pointed focus on Brahman only. Nothing else remains to be known. Because knowing Brahman or knowing myself as Brahman, realizing myself as Brahman is the end of knowing. And I must get to that end. That is the longing that develops. It's called Atma Vasana. natural longing. Knowing Brahman is the end of knowing. Wow, I need to get there. That is all that I want. Yeah. Once Brahman is known, nothing else remains to be known. You must have heard this, the little verse that the father asks Svetaketu, do you know that after knowing which nothing remains to be known? Svetaketu had just come home from his schooling, the Gurukul schooling, and he was in that ego high, I know everything now. So the father asks, do you know that after knowing which nothing else remains to be known? And he said, no, I don't. Yeah? And that's how he goes on to the search of realizing Brahman. Brahman is not an object that I can see. Brahman is not an object that I can know. I am Brahman. My eyes are closed. I am blind to myself. I have to only open my eyes and realize myself. That's it. Paying attention to attention is the first step to self-realization. And if that paying attention to attention is not happening, then Kathopanishad gives you the next verse in which it talks about waking, dreaming and deep sleep. Yeah, so this is the one verse that I will read out so that you become clear that even Kathopanishad speaks about Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, but not in the exact words coined by Ekta. It's not wake, dream, sleep sadhana, but he talks about dream and waking. So what does he say in the next verse? He who sees both dream and waking, yeah, both dream and waking as pervaded by the self, he knows the vast, the all-pervading Atma and grieves no more. This is the exact verse I am reading out to you. What is he saying? When I stand as the witness to the waking, I stand as the witness to the dream, I stand as the witness to the deep sleep, automatically I am thrown into the understanding that I am the fourth. I don't have to make an attempt to know that I am Turiya. Automatic throwing into Turiya Avastha happens. Right? I recognize I am not just the witness of 1, 2, 3. I am the container of 1, 2, 3. I am the fourth. When you recognize I am the fourth, there is a realization, very clear realization. I am vast. I am all-pervading. There is no border. You will recognize there is no border to witnessing. Yeah, here I want to warn the people who think that, oh, I can only see the world so much. I cannot see it behind my head or above my head. So my witnessing is limited to my field of sight. No. Then you are confusing the witnessing awareness field with the body-mind field of experience. Body-mind field of experience is limited. Yeah? Sight can only go so much. I cannot see India from here. Yeah? Even hearing can go only so much. I cannot hear the meteor that collapsed 1,000 miles away from me, that came and collapsed into earth. Yeah? I cannot hear that. But the people living in that area heard it. Yeah? So like that, the body-mind senses have a limitation. Please don't consider that as the limitation of the witness. Please be very clear about it. This is explained again in the verses ahead in Kathopanishad. Here he just tells you that recognize that you pervade beyond the waking, dream and deep sleep. And you are that self, and you're vast. Vast means there is no border, no line that I can draw and say, this is where my self ends and that person's self begins. No. You're again going back to the Dvaitam belief of I am the body and the self is inside the body. No, it is not. And there is no personal self. There is only the great self. The great means it is cosmic. It is a collective self. The witnessing awareness field is a collective field. It is not personal or individual. That is the meaning. It is all pervading and it is vast. Clear? So, Kathopanishad itself is encouraging you to now dive deeper into Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, wake, dream, sleep, exploration. It says that self is Mahan, vast. It is Vibhuhu, all pervading. Yeah, and it is untouched by changes of waking, dream, and deep sleep. This is how you start knowing yourself. Oh, I have the power to project. I have the power to withdraw. And I remain untouched by what I have projected. I can pretend, but something within me knows I'm pretending. That's how you start waking up to higher wisdom now. You start seeing, oh, I am Mahan, I am vast. I am not this body-mind that is affected by the disappearance of the form of the daughter or son, disappearance of the form of the parent or friend, disappearance of the form of colleagues, or disappearance of money, name, fame. I remain untouched. This is how you move from recognizing I can withdraw the projection to I remain untouched by the projection. When this gets established, you have started really knowing yourself. How does a mentor or a teacher discern whether the participant or the student has really established in witnessing? The only way is to recognize whether he or she has realized that they are beyond the projections. Do they get affected by sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, or do they stay as the witnessing self? Here he says a very beautiful point. The discerning one does not grieve. Means the one who has viveka, he cannot grieve. In your favorite movie, your favorite hero or heroine passes away. They die. Do you sit and grieve? No, it's a moment where that arising appeared of the perception of sight of the death of your favorite hero. A sensation appeared inside here, an uncomfortable sensation. The feeling arose of sadness because you were connecting to the movie. Everything appeared like a wave and got wiped away in a second. Have you noticed that? In reality, I am the witness. I cannot grieve. Sorrow belongs to the states. Which states? Waking, dreaming. They appear and they go. The sorrow belongs to those states, not to the one who sees them. Not to the one who knows them. This awakens you. This awakens you. And then you start understanding deeper truths. That yes, I pretend to be the parent. I pretend to be the son or daughter. I pretend to be the good spouse. I pretend to be a good friend. I pretend even on the spiritual path, I am a good Advaitin or I'm a good Bodhisattva. I'm constantly pretending. Now you withdraw. Can I just stop pretending? Yeah, that's how you've gone from Simple thing, projection, withdrawing projection, recognizing your own powers and seeing that your projection cannot touch you, and then coming to a higher level of seeing that why do I pretend that it's touched me? I pretend. Can I withdraw from pretending? And then you'll see, you when you wake up suddenly in the middle of a heated argument, something inside you makes you want to withdraw from the anger and the whole drama that is going on in that argument. Do you recognize that? Something inside you tells you to stop reacting, to stop being angry. Yes. For a moment you listen and then you again slip away. You start pretending again. Do you recognize that? That is very important. Recognize this pretending habit. It's a habit. Anything that I have cultivated is a habit, which means I can unlearn it. I can unlearn it. Now, very important disclaimer given by the Kathopanishad in the next verse. Who can learn it and who cannot? He says, one who is not turned away from the evil, one who is not calm, one who is not collected, one who is not quiet, does not have a quiet mind. He cannot realize this knowledge. He cannot realize this knowledge. So there is a caveat there. He is very clearly saying that you need to be a patra. Patra means the bowl that can hold or contain. Are you a good patra? Can you contain the wisdom? Can you absorb it? Can you attempt your best and bring that discipline into your life? Those who are wondering, I'm reading from chapter 1, section 3, 8, 9, 10 verses. So become very clear that he has laid out that patrita is the ability to absorb knowledge, and as path the vows are laid down. Many people ask me, doesn't Advaita have such vows, such morals and ethics laid down to follow? So that is what is very clearly mentioned in the next verse. He says very clearly, the witness that has not withdrawn from this whole compulsory and imaginary pretends to be the actor engaged in action, from the experiencer engaged in the experience, he will not get it. He will not get it. So to get it, what do I need? The whole path of Advaita is laid down. Kshama, Dama, Titiksha, Upurati. These four need to be cultivated. From them automatically Shraddha and Samadhan are born. This is not a part of Kathopanishad, but this is a part of Advaita Vedanta, which I am explaining as the entire path that is laid down for those walking away from Dvaitam towards Advaitam, away from duality towards non-duality. So what is Shama? He stands as the witness, steady, till a point he recognizes that, oh, my nature is silence. I am inwardly quiet. The background of nothingness, the consciousness at rest, is at rest. My nature is silence. Recognizing the silence of the witness is Shama. That's the first wealth, very important. Only when I recognize I am steady, I don't have to become steady. I am sthira, stable. I don't have to become stable. I am quiet. I don't have to become quiet. Shama starts strengthening. That is a prerequisite. When Shama starts strengthening, automatically Dhamma starts happening. Dhamma means the mind is not so scattered anymore. The mind is not so restless anymore. The mind starts taking the color of the witness. You've seen a prism? Yeah? You hold the prism against the light. Yeah? The light will pass through. On the other side, the beautiful colors of the rainbow are seen. When the quietness of the witness is realized as myself, on the other side, the Dhamma or the non-scattering mind, because the senses are not scattered anymore, that starts happening. Yeah? Stability of all senses automatically starts happening from the other side. The stability of all the senses is the rainbow on the other side of the prism. Only one white light of truth is passing through. What? That I am the silent witness. I am consciousness at rest. I cannot be consciousness in motion. Now consciousness in motion automatically starts resting. That is Dhamma. Once Dhamma starts happening, you become one with the understanding that the mind might not be settled. When I recognize I am the self, I have the ability of projecting a settled mind. Yeah? I bear the discomfort of the first wave, that is titiksha, and then I can project a settled mind. And finally you come to uparati, where there is cessation of the unnecessary projection. Unnecessary projection to eat, to enjoy, to lust for that, to run behind that, to hate that, to run away from that. All this unnecessary projection now quits, because you've tasted projecting a settled mind, a quiet mind. This is the magic. Shama, Dhamma, Titiksha and Uparati. Uparati. You've withdrawn from rati, diving into pleasure. Indulgence is the right word. You don't dive only into pleasure, you dive into pain also. You hate somebody and you want to keep thinking about the one you hate. This is called diving into pain, putting my hand into the fire. Yeah? It needs a mind clean enough, quiet enough, steady enough to quit projecting that nonsense, to withdraw from it, recognizing this only adds suffering. That is how naturally Shraddha or conviction in my own direct seeing will develop. Shraddha Uparati, Shraddha Samadhan. You automatically start collecting these treasures. Conviction strengthens. That is called Shraddha in my own self, and that blossoms into that one-pointed steadiness towards the Brahman. This is a prerequisite. So, time for introspection. What is lacking in me? Can I work on that which is lacking? Can I begin the path with the first step? Stand as the witness. Stand as the witness. When I was ignoring myself. When my intellect refined, when I went beyond the mind to Turiya, when I recognized Mahat, when I recognized the sense of awareness, then I recognized the collapse of the awareness, then I recognized the re-arising of the awareness, automatically all these direct seeings brought me to a point where my seeing was refined. So in the next verse he says, only the subtle seer can see this. Who is a subtle seer? Yeah, what are the steps followed by the subtle seer? They restrain from speech. Yeah? They restrain from speech. They restrain. How to restrain the speech? Very clearly, to recognize this unnecessary jibber jabber about why the neighbor did this, why he did that, what is going on, there is war in the world, what will happen, what is the gas prices. All this is nonsense. Recognizing this is utter nonsense. Restraining that speech into the mind. Restraining the mind into the intellect. Restraining the intellect and simply being in the great self, Mahat. Basically, he's saying take a step back from the world to the body mind, from the body mind to the witness. Stay as the witness. That is the tranquil self. It will start revealing itself to you. These are the steps followed by the subtle seer. Again, it's not sequence of actions. I have to do this number 1, this number 2, this number 3. It's just a withdrawal from identification. Whatever I've identified with, I withdraw. That's it. Simply withdrawing from identification. So if I'm going on jibber jabber, talking rubbish, recognize I'm pretending to be the person. I'm trying to impress somebody, or I'm trying to express my thoughts out to somebody. All this is just creating more commotion. It is taking me away from the silence of witnessing. Withdraw that into knowing. Who is knowing? That's the silent self. Yeah? That's how you come to the first step of Shama. Automatically Shama will take you to Dhamma, Dhamma will take you to Titiksha, Titiksha goes to Uparati, Uparati goes to Shraddha, Shraddha goes to Samadhan. It's automatic after that. Just the first step of withdrawing and staying as the silent Sakshi, Shama. That which is grasping me, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, releasing from the grip of that and staying as the silent witness. That is Shama. Only work on one. Everything else will fall into place. You will not have to do any other work. And it's not even work. It's basically what I was ignoring about my true nature. I start becoming aware of that. That's it. It's that simple. Yeah, so he says, subtler than the subtle, greater than the great. The self dwells in the heart. The desireless, it is desireless self. It is freed from sorrow. You behold its glory. You've not got to Mahat, doesn't matter. Sakshi, first level is sufficient. It is subtler than the subtlest. Do you recognize? Oh, what was I doing 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years of my life? I didn't recognize the background of the now. I didn't recognize the witness of the waker. I pretended to be this waker throughout. Yeah, why? Because I missed it. It was subtler than the subtle. I thought the mind is the subtlest. No, it is subtler than the mind. Yet it is greater than the greatest. That self. That is the heart. Heart doesn't mean the physical heart. Please know this. That is why I am intentionally doing this verse. Heart is not the physical heart of the body. It is the heart of the consciousness. The heart of the consciousness is the witness. The witness itself, by itself, is silent. The background is not desiring anything. It's not even sorrowful. It's not crying. It's not unhappy. When an arising appears on the background, it appears and disappears. Sadness appears and disappears. The background does not become sad. It is free from sorrow. Like that only when the arising of a desire, I want chocolate ice cream, appears and disappears, the background does not start craving for the chocolate ice cream. Yeah? That is the quality of my true self. Can I hold on to that? Why is Yama teaching us this step by step? He's finally taking me to the realization that that background is deathless. I am that deathlessness. I don't have to become deathless. I am that. Yeah, so his intention is to go there, to take Nachiketa there. Ask yourself the question, am I moving in the correct direction? Am I moving in the correct direction? Okay. So if you're moving in the correct direction, then he says you will move towards Brahman. Brahman is the imperishable reality. Imperishable means it is not going to die. This body-mind dies. That form that was a beloved form in your waking world, that form was a projection of your desire. A point came when that projected desire wave had to cease. Means that form had to disappear, whether it was a parent, whether it was a friend, whether it was a son or daughter, whether it was a colleague or a relative. He or she had exhausted his shelf life. You understand shelf life? This arising begins here, it peaks and it ceases here. When does it cease? When its shelf life is over. Yeah? This is the shelf of consciousness, not the shelf in Walmart. Yeah? Its shelf life is over. That form had exhausted its shelf life. It was meant to go back to deathlessness. The mortality wave had to disappear and dissolve into the background of immortality. Know this, recognize this, and that imperishable Brahman, that supreme, that one attains whatever he desires. He wanted an identification, form appeared, and he realized there is no identity found in this form. The form disappeared. Brahman attains whatever it wants. That is why in all religions you will see death is the wish of the Almighty. That is the meaning. When is it born? It's not in my hands. When it becomes young and healthy, it's not in my hand. When it starts perishing, it is not in my hands. And when it disappears completely, is not in my hands. That form was made to appear and disappear by the wish of Brahman. So there is only Brahman that can attain what it desires. Again, warning, A lot of people think, oh, now I should start walking the spiritual path because now when I attain self-realization to be Brahman, then I can wish whatever I want and I will get it in the waking. No, it does not promise object fulfillment. This verse, he's simply stating that knowing the imperishable ends seeking altogether. You stop seeking, you stop wanting. The ground of wanting disappears, dissolves. There's an earthquake there and it magically disappears. No more want is left. All seeking ends. Why? Because the source of desire is known. Okay. So now, self-reflection. can I turn towards that which is the source of desire? And can I understand it, recognize it as the source of desire in my own direct seeing? Not to blindly believe the Upanishad, not to blindly believe what Ekta says. Can I attempt to see this? That is the work. This ends chapter 1. All 3 sections have been completed here.